Welcome to today's Medicare 360 show. I'm your host, Jennifer Lee, and we are going to keep deep diving on the Medicare and You Handbook. So let us begin. We are going to be on page 61, section 4, Medicare Advantage Plan and Other Options. So, what are Medicare Advantage plans? Definitely something that is quite popular nowadays, very heavily marketed everywhere. You get tons of mail, tons of calls, tons of texts, emails, you name it, right? It's all over the place. Okay, so a Medicare Advantage plan is another way to get your Medicare Part A and Part B coverage. Medicare Advantage plans, sometimes called Part C or MA plans, are Medicare approved plans. They're offered by private companies that must follow rules set by Medicare. Most Medicare Advantage plans include Medicare drug coverage, Part D. In most cases, you'll need to use healthcare providers who participate in the plan's network. These plans set a limit on what you'll have to pay out of pocket each year for services covered under Part A and B. Some plans offer non-emergency coverage at a network, but typically at a higher cost. Okay. Let me read that again, sorry. These plans set a limit on what you'll have to pay out of pocket each year for services covered under Part A and B. Some plans offer non-emergency coverage at a network, but typically at a higher cost. For certain services or drugs, you may need to get approval, also called prior authorization, from your plan before it covers them. In most cases, you may also need to get a referral to use a specialist. Remember, you must use a card from your Medicare Advantage plan to get your Medicare covered services. Keep your red, white, and blue Medicare card in a safe place because you might need it later. If you join a Medicare Advantage plan, you'll still have Medicare, but you'll get most of your Part A and Part B coverage from your plan, not original Medicare. What are the different types of Medicare Advantage plans? Health Maintenance Organization, HMO, go to page 66. HMO Point of Service, HMO POS plan may let you get some services out of network for a higher copayment and coinsurance. Go to page 66. Medical Savings Account MSA plan, go to page 67. Preferred Provider Organization PPO plan, go to page 68. Private Fee-for-Service PFFS plans, go to page 69. Special Needs plans, go to page 70. Such exciting topics because I would say these are all very confusing versus I would say just Medicare original supplements and Medigap. Okay. So no, go to pages 119 to 122 for definitions of blue words. Medicare Advantage plan and other options. We're on page 62 now. Okay. So what do Medicare Advantage plans cover? Medicare Advantage plans provide almost all of your Part A and B benefits, including most new benefits that come from laws or Medicare policy decisions. Medicare Advantage plan benefits exclude hospice care and some costs of clinical trials. But if you're in a Medicare Advantage plan, original Medicare will still help cover your costs for hospice care and some costs for clinical research studies and benefits that come from laws or Medicare policies, decisions that the plan doesn't cover. Okay. The plan can choose not to cover the cost of services that aren't medically necessary under Medicare. In some instances where Medicare has an established coverage criteria, Plans may also use their own coverage criteria to determine if certain services are medically necessary. If you aren't sure whether a service is covered, check with your provider before you get the service. If you disagree with a coverage determination, you could file an appeal, pages 98 to 90. So there is a summary of benefits that you should review. It comes out every year for that particular plan. And then also the evidence of coverage that you can review as well. But basically, that was just, I feel like a lot of mumbo jumbo, but let's continue. And I will probably have a breakdown or commentary on this. Okay. Plans may offer some extra benefits. With a Medicare Advantage plan, you may have coverage for things original Medicare doesn't cover, like fitness programs, gym memberships, or discounts, and some vision, hearing, and dental services like routine checkups or cleanings. Some plans can also choose to cover other benefits like transportation to doctor visits, over-the-counter drugs that Part D doesn't cover, in healthcare services. Check with the plan before you join to find out what benefits it offers, how much they cost, and if there are any limitations. This is when it kind of gets confusing, right? Because every Medicare Advantage plan are different, their benefits are different, their qualifications are different, and also the vendors they use are different. Plans can also tailor their benefit packages to other additional benefits to certain chronically ill enrollees. These packages will provide benefits customized to treat specific conditions, although you could check with a Medicare Advantage plan before you join to find out if they offer these benefit packages. You'll need to wait until you join the plan to find out if you qualify. Get the most out of your dental benefits. If you're in a Medicare Advantage plan, take charge of your oral health. Contact your plan about dental services it may cover and what limitations may apply. Okay, us go over the topic of dental benefits because I think this is definitely like a hot topic. As you grow older, your dental needs change. You may need more coverage, more benefits, just more procedures done. I would say in a Medicare Advantage plan, not all dental benefits are created equal. So first, typically, they will vendor out these dental benefits. There are some insurance carriers that have their own networks, so that's great. It's typically bigger, right? So there's just so many kinds. So first, they'll have a vendor. It could be a vendor they use as a third party, or it's like a vendor that it's not their vendor, it's basically in their plan. It's their own vendor, okay? Then you have your HMO dentals. So what I do find is that a lot of dentists do not want to take HMO dental. If they do, they really don't make a lot when they file those claims. So keep in mind on the business aspect, dentists, they have to take time to file those claims, make sure that the codes are correct, incorrect, and so forth. So they typically want to upsell you, charge you more, use different codes. Okay, I mean this is not all the case, but I do see it more often than none. Okay, then you're going to have your dental PPOs. Most dentists love dental PPO. They probably get paid more. Maybe it's easier, but dentists do like the dental PPO insurance. Okay, so every dentist takes different ones too. So it's good to know what they like and what they take, especially if you really like your dentist. I know some clients love their dentist more than they like their doctor, and they could change their doctor. Okay. So then there's also reimbursements. So there are reimbursements where you could go to the dentist, and just as long as it's in the policy or plan, whatever's covered, you could get reimbursed for your services. Some is 100%, some is 80%, some caps out. So definitely look at those plan options. And here's another one, right? So on top of, having in dental HMO or PPO or reimbursement, they are also flex cards. So these flex cards are pretty popular in the last few years, and where you get like a credit card, like a Visa or MasterCard, and you're able to swipe at any dental office. And sometimes these amounts are huge. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they give you a quarterly amount. But just knowing your benefits definitely does matter on that, I would say. Some things to note is that you can sometimes stack your benefits. So let's take, for instance, you're on a special chronic plan. Within that chronic plan, you do get coverage. Then you're also on Medicaid or Medi-Cal that also provides you coverage. Then maybe you have a flex card. Um, so those things could definitely help you out. Um, I know your dentist should be helping you out with this, but we help you out with this. And those are one of the things that we go above and beyond to help the client in their situation. So we do help coordinate with your dentist and your coverage. And we even sometimes go line by line just to figure out how you don't have any out of pocket costs. I had a client recently that needed some dental work done, but just couldn't afford it. And we were actually able to help get the dental plan, find the office, use his coverage from his plan, use his coverage for Medicaid, Medi-Cal, and also he wasn't aware of his flex um, bonus, or that extra that the insurance company gives them. It is quite confusing for someone that's not in the industry or doesn't do this every day. So we are definitely here to help you with that. Okay, I think I covered a lot of dentists. Um, what else on dental before I continue? I would say before you get anything done, please get a quote. Make sure that the dental office has the incorrect plan information to bill, and that they are getting those approvals before you do your work. Because if you do your dental work without reviewing a quote or how much it's going to cost, it might be an unexpected cost for you, and you really don't want to be in that predicament, especially if they're charging you a tooth and nail. I've gone to dentists that are very reasonable. I've gone to dentists that'll charge you thousands of dollars for the same service that someone else would charge me a tenth of the cost. So be wary of that. We really don't want you to be put in that predicament on that. Hey, I think I really touched on dental today, but do you have any questions on that? Feel free to let us know. Okay, let us continue. We are still on page 62. Medicare Advantage plans must follow Medicare rules. Medicare pays a fixed amount for your coverage each month to the companies offering Medicare Advantage plans. These companies must follow rules set by Medicare. However, each Medicare Advantage plan can charge different out of pocket costs and have different rules for how you get services, like if you need a referral, to use a specialist, or if you must go to doctors, facilities, or suppliers in the plan's network for non-emergency, non-urgent care. These rules can change each year. These plans must notify you about any changes before the start of the next enrollment year. Remember, you have the option each year to keep your current Medicare Advantage plan, choose a different plan, or switch to original Medicare. Okay, let's go to page 71. So definitely, because Medicare pays a fixed amount for your coverage to the insurance companies, of course, probably these insurance companies are profiting on this. So that is why it is heavily advertised, marketed, right? It's the free free world of entrepreneurship or business, right? That's why it is definitely heavily advertised on mailers, phone calls, commercials. I see that very often. Daytime TV is like on and on about Medicare plans. It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. Also notate that the plan must notify you about any changes before the start of the year. And also, these insurance companies do have to get approvals from Center of Medicare Services, CMS, every single year on plan changes. And sometimes, once in a while, plans are terminated because if it's too many changes, Medicare is not going to approve it. So that's been happening. So watch out for that. A great licensed agent will reach out to you to make sure you are aware of those type of changes that do happen. Okay, let's go to page 63. Providers can join or leave a plan's provider network during any time during the year. Your plans could also change the providers in the network anytime during the year. If this happens, you usually won't be able to change plans, but you can choose a new provider. You generally can't change plans during this year. Okay, important. Even though the network providers may change during the year, the plan must still give you access to qualified doctors and specialists. Your plan will notify you that your provider is leaving your plan so that you have time to choose a new one. You'll get this notice if it's a primary care behavioral provider and you've gone to that provider in the past 3 years. If any of other providers leave your plan, you'll get this notice in certain situations. Your plan will also help you choose a new provider to continue managing your healthcare needs, help you continue needed care that's already in progress, notify you about the different enrollment periods available to you and options you may have for changing plans. Read your notices carefully so you are aware of any changes and can change plans if you aren't satisfied, either during open enrollment or special enrollment period if you qualify. When an in-network provider or benefit isn't available or can't meet your medical needs, your plan must help you get any medically necessary covered services outside the provider network at the in-network cost sharing. Compare. If you have original Medicare, you don't need a referral to use a specialist in most cases. Page 57, you generally don't need prior approval to use a covered benefit. Okay, that was a lot. I wanted to talk more about that, but important, read the information you get from your plan. If you're in a Medicare Advantage plan, review the annual notice of change and evidence of coverage from each plan year. Annual notice change includes any changes in coverage, costs, and more that will be effective in January. Your plan will send you a printed copy by September 30th. Evidence of coverage gives you the details about what the plan covers, how much you pay, and more in the next year. Your plan will send you a notice or printed copy by October 15th. It will include information on how to get it electronically or by mail. If you don't get these important documents, contact your plan. Consider sign up for an electronic version of the Medicare New Handbook at medicare.gov/go/digital, since you'll get cost and coverage information from your plan. So let me retouch on this. What I was gonna say. Okay. So I have been seeing a bigger influx of plan provider networks changing within a year. Um, it's pretty crazy because of what's happening. There's insurance companies, the medical groups, and the hospitals have contracts, and sometimes they're up for renewal, and one party wants more or less, or it's not profitable for them, or just be it however they see fit with their organization, right? But what happens is that us, the client, the person with the care disrupts the care. Of course, if you're not going to the doctor specialist, it's not going to disrupt your care. You could definitely just move to a different medical group or doctor, but it's just very important when you are receiving care for a certain illness or procedure that the transition of care does go smoothly. And those are the things that we definitely help a client with, to go over your options, plan A, B, C, right? Because sometimes these negotiations, they run till the end of expiration, and you think it's going to go one way, plans have been changed, then what happens? They come to a conclusion and an agreement, and that doesn't. And this happens because by law, they do have to send out notification to their patients. Um, and so sometimes it's a big scare, and sometimes it does really happen. So that's really when we come in to help you figure that out. Also, keep in mind that you can change your provider, your primary medical provider, or your medical group every single month. So if it's one medical group that you hate now for some reason, you could definitely change the following month. There are cutoffs for each month depending on the carrier, so definitely look into that. And I just explained that there is an annual notice of change every single year comparing what's changed for the following year. So that's also something great to review and go over with your licensed independent insurance agent. And the evidence of coverage, if you're just wanting to read all that, definitely is there. I'm going to stop here. We're going to continue on page 64. Till next time, I'm your host, Jennifer Lee, Medicare 360 Show. Feel free to reach out anytime, as we are always wanting to be a helping hand to those that need help and those that just want to review or just call us and talk. We'll catch you next time. You have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.